Hi everyone and welcome. Thank you very much for purchasing this tin called The Little Prince. I tried to make this tin a little bit more affordable for those who already have their alcohol inks, their UT, and their embossing fluid. These are not included in this kit. They are sold separately in my Artfire store, or you may purchase them at your local craft store. But to make this tin a little kit a little bit more affordable, I didn't include these this time so that you receive the other items to be able to complete it. I'm going to give you a quick demonstration on how we achieved this look here. This is your piece of foil you got in your kit that has already been embossed. And we're just going to show you how to get the coloring on there. Also, this is also done with your UT and alcohol inks along with what's on the front here. And so I'm going to have more pictures on my blog and Facebook page so that you can get a close-up of how to do some of the other items in here as well. Alrighty, so what you're going to do is you're going to take that piece of foil, you're going to grab your alcohol inks. I just like the tones of browns that are in the light colors. Okay, you're going to go ahead and spread that around. This dries very quickly. You want to go ahead and get a sponge brush or some paper towels, and you want to get this dabbed on and around your piece of foil very quickly. You have to let it completely dry before you put any more coats on if you wanted to add some, because when you do it too soon, I'll do a piece here so you can see, it actually will cause it to melt away. You see how that's doing that there? It's actually disappearing off parts of it now. So you want to kind of let that dry before you put a second coat on. You're also going to let this dry completely before you use the UT on it. I'm going to dry it really quick here with my blow dryer, so excuse the noise for a moment. There we go. So we got that dry so that I'll be able to show you how to use the UT on it. Okay, so you use your embossing fluid. I like the dauber. This is really easy to use, and like I said, I carry these in my Artfire store. So if you can't find it in your craft store, go check out my Artfire store. It just makes it really handy. And you just actually press it down in the areas that you want the UT to be on. I'm using gold here as an example today. You can use all different other colors. I also have a little tray that I use to keep my extra UT in and then pour back into the jar. I always just take and pinch out a little bit, sprinkle it over the areas that I want, that you have just put the embossing fluid on. Make sure you close this up. You may not want to redecorate your craft room in UT, so I suggest that you put the lid back on. Also, you want to tap off the extra, and I'm going to put this as far from the heat gun as I can too, because I do not want it blowing all over. Use something to protect your hands from this. This will heat up and burn you. Let me heat it up here really quickly. So you just want to keep going over the area kind of close, and you'll see that it's starting to melt. Bring that down closer. Do you see how that kind of melted on there? That just gives it a really fun effect. So on your tin, you will be going and putting your alcohol ink all the way around the edge of your tin. I use the brush to kind of dab it. You're going to first mount your foil on the back and then do your alcohol inks and any melt art that you want to put on it. This is the same thing I did down here. I used my dauber, daubed along the edges. I put my UT on here. You can do it all the way around. You'll just have to make sure you use something to hold it so you don't burn your hands, and go ahead and then start melting it. I really love this vintage look to it, and it just comes out really neat that way. Same with the fence here. This is done actually in the bronze UT, and I think I have some of that in my Artfire store. you will set the piece down separately. Do not do it while it's on here. This is a plastic. This will melt. So make sure you do your fence and anything else that you have in the tin that you want to color. Do that separately down here on your mat. I have a little bit here, as you can see, on the edges of the scooter. The little chipboard piece gear at the back is also done with the UT. The rest of it has a little bit of alcohol ink on it. You got a crown included in your kit, and I'm going to show you how I achieved that look with this crown. This is just a piece of the foil, a stamp, UT, and the embossing fluid. And this method you could use on anything else that you want to use to stamp stuff. So I have the crown right here. I have it mounted on my little plastic, and I have a piece of the foil right there. And so with this, you want to make sure that you get a lot of the embossing fluid and a lot of the UT crystals down on that. So what I do is I really, really, really daub it heavily, because I said you really want there to be a lot to make this stick. Don't want to have any places where it's not. And then you also then want to load up on the UT, and you want to do this quickly before your fluid dries. Put it on there pretty thick, and I actually kind of go in and pat it in, because I do not want to lose too much of it when I tip it up. So you want to see how thick I've got that on there. That's how thick you want to do this. Again, you want to get your lid back on here, and I'm going to move this far away, and I am going to protect my hands here. And what you're doing is you're going to melt this, and the minute it's melted, you're going to stamp directly in it. So make sure that you are very quick at this process at this point. Excuse the noise. Alrighty, and we want to get that stamp into that very quickly. And just kind of press down a little bit in it, not too hard. You don't want to go clear through it. And I used to blow on it just a few minutes and kind of cool it really quick. Alrighty, and then we're going to pull this off. And there you go. This is your crown. And all you need to do is go and cut around the edge of the crown, peel off the backing, and place that on your picture. I also took and kind of curved it slightly when I did it on mine. I took and also cut the brim out a little bit so that it looked like it fit his head a little bit better. But there you go. That is something you can do with UT that is a lot of fun, is to stamp in it. And you get, see, it's cool now, and it's got a great effect to it. Alrighty, please get a hold of me if you have any questions at all on what to do with your tin or any of the things that I've shown you here. I just have everything is actually just glued down with 3-in-1 glue. You can, on the back of the brads, I actually have the brads kind of folded back on the banner and then glued down, but the little knob right here is just glued directly to the tin. I've taken and inked and distressed the little picture, the little piece of paper that's at the back you see there. I've added my lace down here. I've taken my little domino, and I alcohol inked it first, and then after it was dry, I went ahead and cut the little license plate to fit, inked the edges of it, and glued it directly on there. The same with the little dice. I had them on here on my table, and I've just dripped a few drops of the alcohol ink on there. Down here in the bottom is that piece of paper that looks like a measuring tape that's down here at the bottom. And so as you can see here, everything is glued in place. I don't recommend hot glue because you are gluing on the metal and it will melt some of the things you have here that you're placed inside, but you use whatever kind of liquid glue that you have. You will not be able to paper the outside of this, or it will not be able to close. As it is, it may be kind of tight. This little piece up here is just kind of folded over like that, then placed up there, and I fanned it out. I used a little bit of ink on my rose and then placed that there. So there you go. Thank you very much. Please, if you enjoyed the video and you learned something new from this, I would really appreciate it if you came to my Facebook page and posted a picture. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everyone.